Yo, what's good? It's your boy Derek Brent here of Memphis Wire on SportsView360.com. Today we're gonna cover the Memphis Grizzlies as they head into their next matchup, which will be against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game is set scheduled for tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. tip off at FedEx Forum. Huge matchup for both teams, if we're really being honest, in regards to playoff positioning right now. Minnesota was on a 5 game winning streak. Started off with that overtime victory over the Denver Nuggets, where Nikola Jokic had over 60 points in that game. They won 5 straight, but they lost the other day to the Milwaukee Bucks. So they'll be looking to get back on the winning side of things against Memphis, which has finally started to catch his groove with the new interim head coach. So it'll be interesting to see how this game is going to play out. The Grizzlies have won 3 straight games, and these last 3 victories, they've looked pretty dominant. They've looked pretty dominant in these matchups. So just to look at the standings right now, the current, the recent standings in the Western Conference right now, you got the Timberwolves in the 8th spot right now with a 46-33 record. Memphis right now is in the 7th spot, 47-32. They won 3 straight, and they have pretty much they're 4-6 in their last 10 games. So a lot can happen between tonight and tomorrow with the playing situation right now. If you look at the Western Conference standings, um, only these two teams have pretty much clinched the division right now, clinched playoff spots right now. The Thunder and the Rockets. Everything else is still up for grabs. The Lakers, 3rd spot and third seed. The Clippers have jumped up to the 4th seed. They've won 5 straight. Nuggets right now free falling with they've lost 4 straight. Golden State Warriors, they're 47-32. And then you have Memphis right now at 47-32 as well. So it's pretty much tied for the 6th spot right now, if we're being honest. But tomorrow, this matchup is very important for the Grizzlies, and if they want to, you know, position themselves to get out of the play-in situation going forward. But we'll see how it all play out. If you look at the little quick scouting report for the Timberwolves overview, I'm going to start on the defensive side in regards to their rankings. They're 6th in points allowed, points allowed with 109.4. Their assists per game, opponent assists per game is 24.8. That ranks them at 6th. Opponents points per game in the paint, they're ranked 11th with 48 points per game. Uh, Opponent assists, turnovers, field goal made, 0.612. They're ranked 7th. So they're a really good defensive team, man. Based on what these metrics right here, they're a really good defensive team. You know, um, 3-point percentage, they're allowing 35.1%, which ranks them at 7. So not bad, man. Not bad, if you're really being honest. But this game, man, is gonna be Ja Morant versus the Ant Man. They're a very formidable team over there in Minnesota. They're not what they once were last season, where they had a top 2 seed in the West, got to the Western Conference Finals. They're not that team. They're not that team this year. They let Karl Anthony Towns. They traded Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. Got Julius Randle back in return. Still got Rudy Gobert. So they're still a team that can present size matchup, size issues for your team, for your offense, with Rudy Gobert man in the paint. This matchup, to the keys to victory for Memphis, is going to be the efficiency of Ja Morant in this offense that he's running right now. It's looking like Things are going well for Ja Morant in this offense. But guys like Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bain have to step up, bro. Desmond Bain has to come through in this matchup. The players around John Morant has to come through. These other younger guys got to come through. The Jalen Wells injury that sucked. What happened yesterday with Jalen Wells was really bad. Now that he's out, the other guys around John Morant have to show up. You know what I'm saying? Scottie Pippen Jr., Santi Adama. Everybody has to pitch in and knock off the Timberwolves. Because they want the same thing that you want. They want to get out of the playing game territory. If they stay in playing game territory, or well, then you still might have to play them. You still might have to see them again. Because right now you're the 7 and 8 seed. If the playoffs at the end right now, you would be Minnesota and Memphis will be playing against each other. So it's a really gonna be a tough game tomorrow. I think Minnesota's gonna come in with the game face on. They're gonna come in ready to go. You know, with Ant Man, Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, or the rest of the crew out there. It's gonna be a really good team. Nas Reed, but as I previously said, the players around John Morant tomorrow for the keys to victory tomorrow to win are the players surrounding John Morant. Is the performance of those players. Like I said, Desmond Bain, Jaron Jackson Jr., Santi Adama, Sky Pippen Jr. Those players gotta come in and be ready to go. Zach Edey. The matchup between Zach Edey will Zach Edey will Rudy Gobert have a dominant game against Zach Edey? This is his moment right here to show that you was worth the pick that you was worth taking where you were taking at in the draft, high in the draft last year. This is the moment, man. So to me, if the players around y'all could come through, make crucial buckets in this matchup, play defense, because defense for the Grizzlies have not been good this year. Let's be honest. Can you slow down Anthony Edwards? Can you slow down the Ant Man? You know what I'm saying? Can you slow down that guy? Can you slow down any other perimeter threats that the Timberwolves may have in this game? Mike Conley Jr. is coming back to town. You know, can you slow this team down? They're also can the Timberwolves slow the Grizzlies down? And if that does happen, what will the Grizzlies do to adjust? Because like I showed y'all in the scout report and the rankings that Minnesota is a really good defensive team. They're a really good defensive team. They're really good against defending the 3-point shot. They're really good in the interior. Good at forcing turnovers. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things to keep in consideration. Those are the things to factor in regards to tomorrow's matchup. You know, and also this is to me based on what I see, this is a audition for the interim head coach right now to see how he's gonna do in the playoffs. I think to me right now, I think the ceiling is the first round exit for the Grizzlies. But how it depends. To me, it depends on how well they play in the first round. Do you get swept? Do you in a series? Do you go 7 games with an opponent? Can you get past the playing tournament? You know, so it's an audition for them. The other guys got to step up. Desmond Bain has to show his work. They're paying you super max money, a max contract, $200 million. You know, so we gotta wait and see how it all gonna play out tomorrow. But as for score prediction for tomorrow's matchup, I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. Grizzlies at home. Timberwolves coming off a loss. Grizzlies, prior to that loss, they had won 5 straight. Grizzlies are, finally adapting, adjusting without having Taylor Jenkins as the head coach. Adapted his head, the interim head coach's style. They have won 3 straight. But for the score prediction tomorrow, I do have Memphis at home winning a close game by a score of 107 to 104 to defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow. So I have them winning 107 to 104 to defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow, and they're heading to their next matchup against the Denver Nuggets, which is going to be another difficult opponent to take down. So we'll see how it all play out. All right, so that's for y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's matchup? And also check out sportsview360.com for latest content on the Memphis Grizzlies, the Memphis Tigers football and basketball program. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.